What up? What's going on? Okay, well, we're maybe settling into a little bit of a format. I tried to make some additions and do some better idio. Wow, easy for me to say. I get tongue tied. It's almost like dyslexia speech there. Video editing. I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing around. Don't expect anything too snazzy. Most High, I welcome myself to be a channel of your wisdom and peace. I will the release of ego self, that I open to you with clear sight in truth and understanding. Thy will and my will be one, done through me for the highest love of all. Thank you. And it is so. I am a being of love and kindness. I enjoy living in a world where I can express this freely. Sharing relationship with others we can trust are authentic and safe. For those wittingly or unwittingly serving themselves at the expense of others, you are sent back to your source. As other is an illusion and all are one. If there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Remember your soul. ASMR Mac, honey. Okay. He does this little licky dog stuff, which is ASMR for me. There's good ASMRs. And then there's it's like the nails on the chalkboard ASMR. Hey, thank you for inviting me into your space, your world. And may I remind you to do so quite consciously with anyone and anything. A child, in having been brought up where caregivers themselves are repeating patterns of unscrupulous, undisciplined behaviors, they're not appropriately caregiving, is what I'm saying. Their behaviors and treatment for themselves and of others is toxic, or it is in the range in varying degrees, types of abusive behavior. These behaviors adversely affect the child and his environment. I, not all that long ago, heard of and was made aware of something called the ACE test, Adverse Childhood Experiences. Now, I guarantee you, with my background, somewhere along the way somebody had given me that. But I've not been, I haven't done it on my own since I've been a grown woman. But I promise you that it's a high score. And so I speak from experience. That's what I'm saying. We become, as it is profoundly said, a product of our environment. There's a cause and effect relationship. How do we not grow into expressing the same or similar attitudes and behaviors? Consider disliking or even hating the people and the treatment of you by the people who raised you. Like begets like. We don't think that that's going on. I'm not going to make the same mistakes and choices of men as my mom. Things like that. What happens when we bring strong emotional energy to what is consistently being remembered, recalled, thought, felt? What we resist persists. Without developing a sense of understanding and forgiveness, almost always first for yourself, as we tend to be relentless on ourselves, there's no peace. There's no love. Love cannot dwell here. If you do not have it for yourself, it will not be an experience which you have for yourself to share with others. For generational trauma, the cycle of generational abuse, trauma, to cease being a pattern, forgiveness and love of ourselves and all of mankind throughout all of time as we know it is precipitated. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. What they do in coming from a less than point of view. This is what we as a collective are in the position to forgive in ourselves, in other. Some have fear of taking up space, which permits those that encroach upon others' space to overtake. Overgivers wind up in the vicinity of overtakers, those who overtake them. This is a relational style, overtakers, narcissism. And the work that is yours is to decide what relational style does work for you. Myself, I utilized the powers of observation and introspection to decipher and discern my own experiences that had developed and nurtured both positive, constructive, and the destructive features to what had been and is my personality. I slowly and yet very determinedly went about reshaping and reconditioning not just behaviors, the perceptions, the beliefs that seemed to back or support the features of personality and behavior as well. I want to stress this as we are each shaped in order to survive. And even where we are being shaped to thrive, it is for a particular outcome. When we're small children, wherever our families or caregivers or we are born, the culture that we're born into, we're all conditioned to behave in a way that we will be accepted because we need to be part of a group. We need to be part of a tribe or a village that will care for us. So if we do things that are drastically unacceptable, we're not going to be we're going to be put out on the fringes of society, and we're not going to get our needs met. So as the human being exists, this is the way that it works. I'm just, we're just covering the basics here of how we become the dysfunctions of our environments. So I want to stress this, as we each are shaped in order to survive. And even where we are being shaped to thrive, it is for a particular outcome, one that suits a current paradigm or way of being or structure to our environment, an environment that others who came before us and acted in setting up and putting into place. Here we are, all of us striving for what? Or for whom? Most of us are fighting or working to change this by altering the outside, the external circumstances. It is not that this can't ultimately bring the change we desire. It is most certainly ineffective and very inefficient of a way to go about change. It's a disempowered way. An empowered way would look more similarly to what our or your revered teachers and masters taught. Change happens from the inside out. But more holistically, as the perspective one holds brings into being that perspective, where you can see where beliefs of the current paradigm are self-limiting and limiting your reality. In actuality, there are no limits whatsoever. All limits are self-imposed. You choose them. You choose them as a course of your own journey. It is for this reason that the understanding of you are 100% responsible for everything concerning you is required to set yourself free from these self-imposed limiting beliefs, paradigms, etc. And you're not going to like this one. There are no victims. Yes, there is a victim mindset, the belief structure that supports creating experiences of victimization. But that is not a reality of abundant, unlimited potential. That is a very narrow, small perspective from which to fashion your reality. Going back to here, and even where we are being shaped to thrive, it is for a particular outcome, one that suits a current paradigm or way of being or structure to our environment, an environment that others who came before us and acted in setting up and putting into place. So this is a very narrow, small perspective from which to fashion your reality. It is a mindset, and that mindset then creates that reality. That's what is meant by, again, you're not going to like this one, there are no victims. If I told you there is no love, well, there is far too much evidence of it. If I told you there is no fear, Well, there is far too much evidence of it. What if I told you it is you who decides what he sees, claims as truth, lives? That you co-create those energies. Wow, that's a lot of power. Your power is not the issue. The perception that you are not powerful is. So there you go. We are all in this together. We are all one of all that is. Wipe the sleep from your eyes. Shake it off. Remember. Remember. Remember the collective. And if you made it this far with me, you're still here. Thank you. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you so very much.